In 1885, a young woman named Caroline Ashworth died under mysterious circumstances at just 19 years old. Her father, a rich, controlling, and obsessive man, wanted to keep his daughter with him forever, so he commissioned one final portrait. But what looked like a simple Victorian photograph was, in truth, something far more sinister. Caroline's father, Horatio, was a self-made millionaire who owned a successful brewery. He doted on his only child from the moment she was born. But as Caroline grew up, so did her father's obsession. When Caroline was just 16, Horatio hired a private tutor for her, a man named Francis Tumbleton, who would later become the family's live-in servant. The two quickly became close, and they enjoyed going on long walks together. This enraged Caroline's father, who had plans for his daughter's future that did not include a lowly servant. When Caroline turned 19, her father hired a new governess for her and forbade Francis from speaking to her. But Caroline and Francis's friendship did not end there. They began seeing each other in secret and eventually fell in love. Caroline even became pregnant by Francis, but her father had no idea. Then in December of 1885, Caroline came down with a high fever and became very ill. Her father called a doctor, but by the time he arrived, it was too late. Caroline was dead. Grief-stricken, Horatio immediately began planning for his daughter's funeral. He dressed her in one of her finest gowns and arranged for her to be buried in the family plot. But before the burial, he commissioned a final portrait, which he planned to hang in his home. He sat with the coffin in the parlor and watched as the photographer set up his equipment. Then he had an idea. He asked if it was too late to add one more person to the picture. The photographer agreed and went to get his props. When he returned, he saw a man standing over the coffin. The man was tall and thin, with a hooked nose and piercing eyes. He was dressed in all black and stood with his back to the camera. The photographer set up the shot and then told Horatio to take his place. Horatio sat down heavily in a chair next to the coffin. He knew this would be the last time he would ever see his daughter, and he had a strange feeling that the man in black was somehow connected to her death. As the photo was being taken, he stole a glance at the man. That's when he noticed something strange. The man was not looking at the camera. He was staring directly at him. When the photo was finally developed, Horatio was horrified. The man in black was grinning at him, and in his hand, he was holding a small vial. Upon closer inspection, Horatio realized that the vial was filled with a cloudy liquid and what looked like a small white flower. He immediately fainted. The man in black was never identified, but many believe that he was Francis, the man Caroline loved. Some say he was the father of her child, while others believe he was simply a spirit that had come to collect her soul. What is certain is that Horatio never hung the portrait in his home. He kept it hidden until his death, when it was discovered in his attic by his relatives. Today, the photo is one of the most famous ghost photos ever taken, and some say it's a warning to those who dare to defy the spirits.